to finish up the program today here in the first hour of the Braden Surprenant show. Obviously, the biggest talking point with the Padres, aside from like what they've been doing on the field, has been the ownership conversation. Now, we did get the report 5 minutes ago. As we went to break, Dennis Lin had tweeted out that the Kudla and Brees group did not put in a formal bid for the Padres yet. So they are pursuing an opportunity, but they have not actually put in a formal bid. So here's the exact tweet from Dennis Lin. Correction regarding the Padres sale process. Sources clarify that Joe Kudla and Drew Brees did not submit a formal bid. They are, however, exploring potentially partnering with one of the other groups. That's interesting. So for everybody that was like, oh, well, Drew Brees and Viore, like they're not going to have enough money. Well, they might be partnering with one of the other groups that have been listed. So who knows how this breaks down now. We will wait for more information on that. But let's just kind of give an overview of what we know as bidders, known and potential bidders. The San Diego Padres obviously are in the midst of a potential record-setting sale with strong interest from multiple high-profile bidders. The process is moving quickly and could conclude by MLB opening day, and the team could surpass the 2020 MLB record sale of $2.42 billion, with valuations estimated between $2.5 billion and $3 billion. That is all information, Frank, that we know, right? This is all the information that we have been told over a couple of months now.
Yes, it's going to take a record-setting. It's going to take a record-setting bid in order to buy this team.
The known and potential bidders. We have seen a lot of different names for this. Joe Lacob was one of the first that we have seen, right? He was the first one that has popped up in any type of article. He is a Bay Area resident. Just to recap, owner of the Golden State Warriors. He has previously attempted to buy other Major League Baseball teams, the A's, the Angels, the Dodgers. He is known for success-oriented ownership. That's Joe Lacob. He's worth about $3 billion. If you Google search his name, that's what they say. Take that for what it's worth. Another known bidder that came out after the Lacob situation, or at least when we found out about Lacob, was Dan Friedkin. Dan Friedkin is a San Diego native. He is the CEO of the Friedkin Group, and he's the principal owner of Serie A's AS Roma and the Premier League club Everton. Let me ask this question, Frank. Just from the soccer perspective, are those circus organizations?
No. Roma's been solid. Everton has had its struggles recently. They've just built a new stadium that I believe is debuting next year, I believe. And they are in a UEFA position. I believe. I'm not sure. I don't remember if it's Conference League or Europa League, but they are in a UEFA position this year.
To put it briefly, they're not the Arizona Cardinals of Serie A.
No.
They are not the Cincinnati Bengals of the Premier League.
They had been, but that's changing.
Maybe that's because he bought the team.
Possibly.
I don't know. I got to go through the data on that. So that's another one. He is also, I can't remember if it says grandson or great-grandson of the CEO and founder of PSA Airlines. Was it Pacific Southwest PSA? The PSA airline, whatever.
I believe so. I'm not sure.
They used to be stationed here in here in San Diego. Yeah, so he is the descendant of whoever started that company. I think I'm pretty certain on that. Jose E. Feliciano, Puerto Rico native, founding partner of Clear Lake Capital, and a co-owner of Chelsea FC. Previously partnered with Todd Bowie in soccer ownership. But the interesting thing with Feliciano is, who else is a co-owner of Chelsea FC?
I don't know.
The owners of the Dodgers.
Oh, yeah, that's right.
So that's an interesting storyline in itself. I know there had been rumors of, and I don't know, maybe you know, Frank, but like I heard like the ownership groups with Chelsea FC had been butting heads a little bit.
Yes, that has been the rumor. By the way, going back to to Everton really quick. They have not finished above the top 10 in the Premier League since 2018, 2019. This year, after I believe the changes after this year, they are currently sitting in ninth in the Premier League. They still have about 10 games left to go, 10, 11 matches left to go, but they've surpassed what they have been recently.
Here is the they just had an Everton deal. Everton owner Dan Friedkin has made his position clear regarding a potential summer sale of Ndai to Manchester United. Who is that? Is that like their best player or something?
One of their better ones, yeah.
After several years spent offloading key players to stay within Premier League financial rules, Everton finally appeared to be on the more stable ground. Ndai is drawing attention from Man U after another impressive campaign. Backed by the Friedkin Group, the Toffees are no longer under pressure to make sales and can be more selective in their transfer dealings. Interesting. And when it comes to his future at Goodison Park, Friedkin seems prepared to draw a line. So here's what you need to know about Friedkin. Sounds like he came in to buy Everton, and they have now more financial stabling, and now he's putting his foot down saying you can't trade one of our best players. Am I reading that wrong?
I think that's something that it's something Padre fans are worried about. Is that not?
About having a guy trade away their best players?
Yeah, about somebody just starting to sell people off as a new owner and then just, completely sending the team into shambles. Doesn't sound like that's going to happen with Dan Friedkin now, does it?
No, it doesn't. Here's the thing with Dan Friedkin, too.
To the chagrin of Harold Reynolds, I'm sure.
He must have. I don't know when they bought the team, but the Friedkin Group wrote this to Evertonians. Is that the proper pronunciation for Everton fans? Evertonians?
Sure. I'm a Chelsea supporter, so I don't care.
Okay. Well, you're going to learn a little bit of Everton here. Following the completion of the takeover of Everton Football Club, I want to express my gratitude for your continued support and introduce the incoming executive chairman of Everton, Mark Watts. Take immense pride in welcoming one of England's most historical football clubs to our global family. Yada, yada. Friedkin Group is a diverse family of companies with a global footprint spanning industries such as sports, automotive, entertainment, hospitality, and adventure. Across all our endeavors, we strive to deliver extraordinary experiences that ignite people's passions. We are thrilled to bring this ethos to Everton and the Liverpool City region.
Friedkin bought Everton on December 19th of 2024.
All right, so they're just...
What you're seeing out of Everton right now is the beginning of his stuff. You can't really take last year and the year before that into account because he's still trying to figure out what he wants to implement. He's starting to implement his way of doing things now.
And now you're saying that they're close. They're competing for a...
They are better off in the Prem than they have been in recent years. Yes.
All right. Let's. What? Before he took over, they were not very good.
They finished 13th in 24-25, 15th in 23-24. They were on the cusp of relegation in 22-23 and 21-22. They finished 10th in 2020-21. And then 19-20, they were 12th. But before that, they had a run of 2 8th-place finishes and a 7th.
Is this somewhat the best that they have done in the last 10 years?
Yes.
Okay.
They're on the cusp of being as good or better than they have been over the last 10 years. Yes.
Okay. So the Friedkin Group, Dan Friedkin, bought Everton, stabilized the money, and now is saying, "You're not selling my best player. He's staying here." That sounds like that sounds like somebody that's going to buy a team to win. Does it not?
Yeah.
I think that sounds like somebody that wants to win. He's not just buying teams just to buy teams. I bet you AS Roma's probably pretty good right now. Are they okay? What did he buy them? That's another question. Something else we'll dive into later. But Friedkin's a guy that's a San Diego native that let's put it this way. He was born in San Diego. He lives in Texas now. But if he was born in San Diego, and this is his hometown, And he is doing this for Everton. What do you think he's going to do for his own hometown team? I'm just saying. And this guy's worth like $10 billion. Whatever it is. I think it's around $10 billion on those reports. Feliciano, as we mentioned, and you're a Chelsea fan, correct?
Yes.
Okay, so they've had some headbutting. His thing's interesting too with the buying a team. He's co-owners of Chelsea with the Dodgers owners.
Mm-hmm.
And now he's interested in buying the Padres, who is their biggest rival. That's interesting to me. It's
hilarious.
It is hilarious. I find that interesting. So those are the three that have put in bids according to these reports, if I'm reading this correctly.
Correct.
Then yesterday you had the Joe Cudla and Drew Brees connection. And, Cudla, Carlsbad-based Fiore CEO, Drew Brees obviously started his NFL Hall of Fame career with the San Diego Chargers. They both live here in town. Drew is a big investor of Fiore too. So they've had that partnership for a while. And they're exploring joining a bid in the next round, but did not submit a formal bid in the first round. So I'm interested to see who they might join up with. I mean, if they join up with Friedkin or something like that, Frank, and you got an all San Diego connection that's got a lot of money and that are from here and live here and have roots here, that to me is a pretty solid group in terms of what Peter Seidler's looking for, or what the Seidler family's looking for, right? I mean, the Seidler family was saying that they want to have somebody that's going to live on and continue Peter Seidler's legacy and all this other stuff. That to me would be the group that fits it off the top without doing any research. And obviously these guys are deep in negotiations. They got a lot of stuff going on. I mean, so I understand that. And then we have a fifth bidder, which might be a fourth bidder now, because if Cudla and Breeze are not have not submitted a formal bid and they're trying to join one of these bids, maybe it's just four bidders then. But identity is unknown, and it's described as a very strong bid. So maybe they're part of that group. Who knows? Financial and market context of this. Padres valuations are supported by record attendance, 3.4 million people going to games in 2025, 72 sellouts. Petco Park is considered one of baseball's premier stadiums, and MLB may face a potential lockout in 2027, but the Padres remain a prime asset due to scarcity of franchises and rising global interest in the game of baseball. Seidler family collectively owns less than 50%. The trust is controlled by Peter Seidler's widow and kids and is the largest single stake. Sale process has accelerated after resolving legal disputes among the Seidler family members. John Seidler is committed to keeping the team in San Diego post-sale, which we knew. No indication of relocation, which we knew. Buyers are being vetted for alignment with winning long-term investment in the franchise. Sale interest is high. Cudda and Breeze, local tie, significant for fan engagement, but they're, again, trying to join one of the groups already making a bid. All likely buyers are aligned with winning and sustaining the team in San Diego, which is very much a contrast with the Chargers and the Clippers and the Rockets and other organizations that have now bolted from San Diego. But a potential record-breaking sale highlights the Padres' growing value and the stature in MLB. And this is all great. This is all great news, Frank. These are all things that I think point in the direction of a new ownership group that's not taking it over to hold on to for 5 years and then sell, but an ownership group that wants to make a splash.
Yeah, absolutely. And this is exactly what we had said when we were fending off these stupid relocation allegations, was that you're not going to spend this much money and turn into John Fisher. You're not going to spend this much money and turn into the Pittsburgh Pirates. You are going to buy this team to win. It's such an extraordinary way that this team is being sold. It's such an extraordinary reason as to why this team is being sold. It's not like the owners are trying to get out of it because they want the money and they don't care. They're buying it because the guy who owned it and cared about it the most passed away, and the current owners realize that they're not going to be able to put in the same amount of love and effort that Peter did. which is great. And they're deciding to sell the team, which is great. You now have this sale. You expect this sale, honestly, to go quickly because of the state of the Padres as it sits right now. They don't need a building. They're not fighting with the city. They're not under crippling amounts of debt. The fan base isn't revolting against them. That's all good news. If this sale takes forever, it's because the Seidler family has not found the right person to sell. It's not going to be because of a lack of bidders.
Yeah, I mean, it's obviously that people are bidding on this organization not to flip it and not to tear it down. That it's a valuable asset that you have. I mean, when you see teams that go for sale, I don't know how many times we have to do this exercise, but let's talk about teams that go on for sale all the time, right?
Mm-hmm.
Teams that are always for sale usually have a problem. That's why the owner doesn't want them anymore.
Yep.
This is an extenuating circumstance because the owner that had the passion for the team passed away.
Yep.
And the family doesn't want to hold on to an asset that they don't have the same passion for, and they want what their brother wanted for this team to have that success, and they're willing to sell to order to make that happen.
Which is a great sign for this team because there are many people that are looking for as much money as they possibly can, would hold on to it, be damned the results of what this team turns into, and try to flip it for as big a profit as they possibly can. They are realizing early in this process, that they do not have the will or whatever it is that they need in order to do what is needed for this city, for this team. So they're backing out of it, which is a great, great sign. That's a fantastic sign. It just shows that they have the best intentions for the team and for the city at heart and not their own wallets.
And I think that, and you start looking at a lot of the previous sales, right? And they're selling the team again because they're not making the money they want to make. It's costing them too much. They want to just collect the money on the profit, if you will, collect it on the value, and then they want to and then they just want out.
Mm-hmm.
And in doing so, when the new owners usually buy those teams, what do they have to do? They have to find why it's not making money and start making changes so it makes money. This is an organization that, the debt is one thing that they had, and it sounded like they have secured a little bit, but that's just like overspending on a lot of the players. It's not like they don't have people showing up. I mean, again, Another big reason teams sell is because nobody shows up because they've run it into the ground. That's not the case with the Padres. So in terms of organization, like if you're a billionaire and you want to get into owning a sports team, there is no better choice than a sports team that makes money, that wins games, that has a good roster. Oh, and by the way, that sells out all the time.
Mm-hmm.
Those are usually not for sale. Why? Because they're so valuable. Why would you ever sell it? Okay, so from that perspective, it's only bringing in people that want to win. And as you start to look at what these organizations that these the guys that have put bids in, the organizations that they run, have you noticed that out of the bidders do any of them not own a sports team?
No,
they all own a sports team. The only one that doesn't
is the Brees
group, but that group is not putting in a formal bid. They're trying to join another group out there. They're willing to put some shares in to be part owners of the Padres. So now you're looking at just the top three. We don't know about the anonymous one, right? They all own other franchises. They own franchises that have won championships, or in Friedkin's sense, he's still a relatively new owner, but everything that we just read about Dan Friedkin and the Friedkin group, he wants to win.
Mm-hmm.
Based on like, hey, I know Everton, I know our best guy, might be valuable to get rid of. He's staying. We're not letting this guy leave. We'll spend the money to keep him. And it sounds like, as that article said, the stability that the Friedkin group gave Everton has solidified the roster. And look at the results. They're starting to play a lot better over there in Europe. So when you look at the owners and the people that have put in bids, they have all come from winning. And they are teams that win. And they are people that win. These are people that don't hog stuff and just hold on. These are people that want to win when they run their team. And they all have connections to being a owner that's going to spend money. And then when you start throwing in the local aspect, especially with like Friedkin and who knows with Brees and Kudla and stuff like that, you look at that part and what these guys are doing for teams that are not in their city. I'm telling you, this is a good group right here that they get to choose from, and it sounds like the first line of bidding is done. Time to go through the second round of vetting process, and the fact that they think that this thing could get done before opening day or just after opening day is crazy to me. But that's how popular this team is. Mm-hmm. That's how important it is to a lot of bidders. That's how expensive this team is. That's how valuable this team is, and that's a big sign that this team is going to get an ownership that's going to want to win. And guess what? New owners always try to do? What do they always try to do? Win over the fan base. And how do you win over a fan base that's already showing up and already locked into Padres baseball? You know what you do?
Big names, big numbers.
You spend money on top of it. That's why when the Nationals tried to sell, they wanted to make sure that the sale, or should I say the trade of Juan Soto, happened before they sold the team, so the new owners didn't look like whatever you want to call them. I've been excited to see how this plays out.